Tim, I know a lot of newspapers, large, small, medium, are all looking at the possibility of charging for content online, the paywall. What are your thoughts and the plans here at the Standard Times?
Well, I think that's still developing. We're going to have to figure out a way to monetize our content down the road. I mean, there's no way around that. We don't have any immediate plans in that area, but it's something that we study and we want to keep a close eye on.
Any ideas, any models that you're kicking around? Is something you're investigating or that you care to share?
No, I mean, we don't have a specific strategy regarding that. Right now we're about trying to build as big an audience as we can, and then hoping that we can build enough scale that we can attract more advertisers.
Just like we all studied in journalism school, you mentioned that the newspaper is a watchdog. Are we show business too now?
No, I don't think so. I think being able to serve up content in lots of different ways gives us new platforms to reach audiences, but in the end we're going to succeed by being true to our traditional values. There's a lot of folks, a democracy cannot exist without a free press, and nowadays you have to, it's not just a free press, but it's broader than that. So I don't look at news in that way. I've never looked at news in that way. It's about serving our community and making sure that readers get the information that they need to be informed. The recession is having a big impact on all that we do. Some of the stuff that's happening online is also having a role, but we're positioning ourselves to be competitive, and in the end it's about being journalists and being able to provide local news that people really still value. That's the unique thing. That's how we can distinguish ourselves from other competitors out there. Remember, newspapers are still our businesses, and we have to rely on making money to do what we do. So we're trying to produce the kind of content that folks really want, and then be able to let the viewer decide how they want it. If they want it in print, we're going to provide the best quality product we can in print. The same thing goes for online, and the same thing goes for social media. If they don't want to come to our website, but they're willing to follow us at Facebook, that's going to be available for them. We just before you arrived here, we just picked 4 stories that we wanted to put up on our Facebook page, and we put that up as a link, and people can come back and get our content that way. It's been a wonderful experience. Contrary to what people think about our business, our industry, this is really an exciting time. One of the huge successes that we have in our industry is we've made the transition from just being a print-centric product to being online. I mean, our news sites online are very, very popular. When
The team got together and first conceived the idea for Go San Angelo Online, do you think they expected 2 million page views?
No. Go San Angelo, I mean, I can remember 5 years ago having a discussion of members of our operating committee and saying, how big is that universe going to be? And we thought, well, once we reach 1 million page views, and I remember when we did reach 1 million page views for a month, we actually ran a full-page ad letting folks in our community know that we had reached this milestone of 1 million page views. And now for 2 years later, for us to be at 2 million and growing, I think that's a huge accomplishment. But when you look at the whole issue of making the transition from just being print to including online and becoming true multimedia journalists, you have to remember that it's not about perfection, especially online. It's about progress. So you want folks to experiment. Things aren't going to be perfect. Technology is not perfect, but if you can make some progress every day, maybe ultimately you do reach the perfection that you're shooting for. We have some perfection, in terms of some specific online stuff that we do. I think we do photo galleries really well now. We do video really well, but it didn't start out that way, and you shouldn't jump into it thinking you're going to have perfection. Online comments, for example, we were one of the first newspapers to actually shut down our online comments because we thought people were getting off base. It was reflecting poorly on our community. We had a little self-imposed timeout, and we told readers, we'll bring this back, but here, here's some ground rules. Well, it was a few years ago. The Texas authorities raided a compound south of here in El Dorado, Texas, where the FLDS church had set up a ranch. In that thing, basically became the nation's largest child custody case, and over 400 children were removed. For 2 months, it was the top story in our area.
Right. Now that's a great bit of journalism that I think all editors could benefit from your experiences. I would guess that you probably had an onslaught of media. Maybe they showed up in your newsroom from time to time, or did you become part of the story?
Well, yeah, we were driving the story. I'm proud of our team for that. What I would say that's remarkable, and you'll hear me mention the FLDS again and again in our story of making the transition from print to also online. Well, what that showed us was we had to go online first because we had lots of media competition. The story was developing so quickly that, we would have been writing through stories 10, 11, 15 times and still not been able to keep track. So the online, our website allowed us to post this information in real time. I mean, when you think about it, you can be first with breaking news. You can provide video. You can do these other things that you couldn't do before, and that can be very disruptive to your other media partners. And frankly, one of the other things you have to remember, if you don't do it, someone else might. 200 miles one way, and then you come back and file your story. We still are really trying to serve these communities that have traditionally looked at the Standard Times as their #1 source for news and information, both in print and online. That's the other thing that small town newspapers need to remember, is that the online allows folks in outlying areas, it's a great service to them to be able to provide them daily news through their computers or through their phones. So the reach is immediate for those folks. It can be very automated. We have features here in our content management system that allow us to export stories directly to the web. But we also have our web management system where you can go in there and then you can truly customize that content for the web. So you can serve it up in a bunch of different areas. You can go in there and link past stories, so they're related links. So it's going to require some effort, but I think that's just what you're going to have to expect in the future. Story about a young lady who was doing something dealing with breast milk, and that story, for whatever reason, became an international story. People were sharing that story, and so we were getting readers from all over the world clicking on that story. It had a tie to the military, so I think that might have been the reason that we were getting page views from around the world.
Well, for the sake of example, how many page views do you think that story, with its subject matter, its a specific audience?
I can't recall the specifics, but I do remember that for the year it was our top viewed story. See, on our site is a lot more data, taking public records and making it available for folks in an easier way. I'll give you an example for our jail log, for example. We're not going to write a big story about how many people were booked into the jail, but we are going to make it easy for folks who are interested in that by putting up a PDF of that jail report. So you'll see more data. You'll hopefully see more photo galleries. You'll hopefully see breaking news clips. Sports clips are very popular. They drive a lot of traffic. You should get a true multimedia experience when you're talking about a story, data, photos, video, maybe even just something as simple as an audio clip.
Okay.
But it's a true multimedia experience. We just started something here recently within the past month called the morning chat, where we'll just ask a question and people will come there and have a conversation. And this is on our website. Folks take over the conversation. So we might ask a question about, you know, what do you think about the war in Iraq? And it just starts as a thread, and people build off of it. And we've had some of the morning chats producing, you know, over 200, you know, contributions from readers. So that's in real time. I forgot to mention the whole issue of video. It's not uncommon for reporters now to go out into the field and actually come back with a clip. So not only can you read about a person, but you can hear in their own voice, in their own words, you know, a subject of a story. That's powerful. Software out there right now where you can take a PDF of your front page or of all your news pages and then put those up on your website. What's really remarkable about online is it's not anymore, this isn't a business just about .com. It's also about, you know, how you can incorporate social media into what you do. And what I mean by incorporating social media, we've created Facebook pages, for example, and lo and behold, we have about 6,000 followers on Facebook. I mean, that's about a quarter of our print audience right there. So that's huge. That just